Hi, we're back.
Yay!
Yay.
Fingers crossed this time.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes.
I'm eating ice cream, so you know it's gonna be better.
Better for you, maybe.
I have none of my stuff pulled up right now. I didn't get my music or anything, but I think I can actually get that ready. Okay, so I've got my music now. I will not be using voice mod because I'm superstitious about it now. Not for tonight. It'll be back. But for now, we're just gonna carry on and hope that things are going well. So thank you so much for being here. Let's play some Uncharted Worlds. To finish the recap, and I legitimately have to imagine at this point that if you're still here, you have been here for past episodes. But supposing you haven't, to finish the recap, we are on an alien planet where there's a dangerous predator known as the Paenra, or that's what was assumed. While this creature is dangerous and its predatory status is unknown, it has not been dangerous to the crew because they learned the truth about it in the last episode, which is that it is not just out for blood all the time. Rather, it seems that they have been systematically hunted throughout history, or if the hieroglyphics in the burial ground are to be believed. So they decided to side with the wounded Paenra, take down Bryer with some very cool moves and very good teamwork. And with nothing terribly bad to show for 7-second lag we can deal with. That was you saying that. It's cool.
Take your chat
I'm turning
off.
my chat off.
Enough. Cut. Snip.
Just from the beginning while we were starting.
Okay.
I'm opening the window with Jake so he can post it. Okay.
There you go.
So with no real injuries to show for it, save for one melted shoulder bone, which Halcyon acquired while battling a robot on the ship.
Excuse you. A glancing blow from a plasma rifle on the left shoulder, and a vaporized upper right arm.
There we go.
Which is cauterized because of the heat of the plasma, but
otherwise
useless.
Yeah, gonna need to get that. Luckily, I mean, you've dealt with worse injuries than that before, but usually on other people. Yeah, everything will be fine. We'll get there. Okay. And with you had Bryer in Defeat's grasp when be it because you gave it some sort of signal or because it had some sort of innate sense, the Paenra showed up and you guys very happily let it finish the job. So Bryer has been strewn across the deck of his ship, and that is where we left off with the crew there. So we're going to do some wrap up on the planet. Now we did level up at the end of the last session. Does everyone... I don't think we need to go over what move we all took, but just so y'all viewing know how leveling up works. They get a new move from whatever career they were kind of a part of, whatever career they took the advancement track from, and then they can pick a new advancement track from any career they want to then unlock a move from that later on down the line. So everyone has some new toys to play with, so to speak. Great. And I think we will get started. Let's come back in the moment on the Freya right now, where we currently have have just sort of not closed comms, but both sides have been informed that the other is alive and the dire situation has passed. So, Halcyon. Gammon is there freaking out a little bit. Gammon, sort of their usual, just always shining copper skin self, just standing over you with hands that could absolutely tear you to pieces, going, "What do I do? What do I do? How do I help you? Can I glue this back together? Is there anything I can
help me up and then take me to the fucking med bay, please?"
Yep. Okay, up we go. They kind of put your good arm, relatively speaking, over their shoulder and start hauling you down the corridor. One more time before they go, just kind of on the comms. I'm taking the doctor to the med bay for doctor reasons, and then they're gone.
Thank you, Gammon.
Yep.
And every step of the way is accompanied by Halcyon just saying, ow, 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 ow.
Yeah.
Just every movement hurts.
So VaTze floats his way in to the hallway, kind of, and falls into float alongside of you, sort of shifting plasmic cloud of energy, and just goes, terribly sorry. I couldn't make it. I heard your call, but things sounded rather dangerous. Is everything all right? You look terrible.
They're fine now. Except for me. I'll talk to you later.
Do you need help in the med bay?
Sure. We need all the hands I can get, or help I can get. Sorry.
Gammon says, Doc, Doc, is there anything in the med bay, and legit question, is there anything in the med bay that VaTze could even, like, control, or...
You need power to do things, right, VaTze?
I'll talk to you later, then. And VaTze sort of, like, abashedly, like, slinks backwards, and then zooms out to go somewhere else.
I'll take that as a yes.
Come on, let's get you patched up. Gammon helps you into the med bay. So this is difficult. Effectively, what you're doing is talking Gammon through the procedure it's going to take to patch you up. And Gammon, someone whose hands are better acquainted to breaking, is going to try his best to put you back together.
Yes.
Is that what you want to do? Like, is that what we're going for right now?
No.
Okay.
Actually,
okay.
So you
what?
could wait for
Yeah, 'cause you can also wait.
qualified people to get back.
The wound is cauterized. You're not in
so-
immediate danger.
Exactly. So
Where's Hugo?
I imagine sleeping. We put him to bed. And Halcyon would not necessarily feel terribly comfortable with Hugo working on him.
Yeah. I think the only thing I'm going to say, which does need to be addressed rather quickly, you are living in an age where technology is incredible. And if needed, you could get a great prosthetic for this arm. Not ideal, but it could be done. You, a brilliant medic, could also save the arm, but that is time sensitive. Right now, the tissue is dying, and it needs to be preserved so it can be reattached properly. Usually you'd have the power to do a cryo something or another, but that would require some help. If you would like a better chance at saving your arm, you can make a non-disadvantaged patch-up roll on yourself, basically, which is just you talking Gavin through the basic procedure of what needs to be done to stop your arm from physically dying in this moment.
Okay. Yep. That's what I would do then.
Okay. So go ahead and roll that, and we'll talk through how it goes after you get that roll done. So go ahead and give me a patch up. Give me that expertise, I believe.
Oh God. Yeah. Oh no.
Is expertise not your thing? Is it?
It's medical is intellect.
Thank you very much. Yes.
If we're using for those
yes,
who
I thought
who are new.
Yes, I thought it was
the stat distribution has changed from previous.
Yes. So intellect.
I did not change.
Yeah,
that
it should. I thought it would be
better.
your strongest stat since it's medicine. So yes, intellect then.
Yeah. Okay. 8.
8. Okay, that's fine. It is a mixed success. So what that means is you talk him through it. It's a little shaky. It takes a little bit longer than you would like, but you effectively get your arm on ice. Is the best you can do for now.
Okay.
I'm going to say with a mixed success, you're not doing yourself any favors, but it's not necessarily making things jarringly worse either. You do what is intended here. You don't get any better. You don't get healed in any way, shape, or form, but your arm is preserved enough that when someone with steadier hands comes by, you may be able to do some craftier med work to put it back together again. Cool?
Okay.
Great.
So is my right arm effectively like detached?
It is attached enough, actually, that you don't need, like, with the stuff you have on the ship, you could put it back on. It's not like hospital level, like, detached. Rebuilding a vertebrae takes time, but it's not impossible. Not for you.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Okay, so it's like in like a sling like ice.
Yeah, I mean you're the
Pack
doctor. You tell me
contraption.
what it looks. Yeah, like, that sounds good to me. You tell me what it looks like. You're the doctor.
Yeah. I mean, probably the first thing that Hal would do is like get helped up onto like almost like a dentist chair where it like can fold in multiple different directions, and like has Gammon put his arm out on one of the arm handle things. It's like, all right, Gammon, go to that shelf over there. You'll see a big blue tube, like a big blue squeezy tube.
Okay.
I need you to come over here with that and hand that to me, and then go get some bandages. They're in that drawer down there.
There's 2 blue tubes, and I can squeeze anything if I try hard enough. Which one is it? The top or the bottom one?
Bottom.
Okay, he grabs you the tube, and he goes over, gets some bandages.
They were the same, Gammon, but I appreciate you asking.
Oh, all right. Well, less trick questions next time then, Doc.
I'll try to remember that, Gammon. I will try to remember that. And while Gammon's gone, I'm just like squeezing this Sterigel, basically like space age Neosporin, just all over that to prevent infection.
Sure thing, absolutely. All right, so you get your little ice sling, you get it disinfected. You are as taken care of as you can be. No actual healing has been done, but you are preserved, which is the mix I'll give you. Let me go back to Bryer's ship for a little bit. You guys are either on or beneath, depending. No, I think you all came on deck at this point in time. You're at the helm of Bryer's starship. It is in not quite as bad shape as yours, but still pretty bad shape, especially now that there is a second hole in the hull that the Paenra has very enthusiastically opened. And the Paenra is still there. This just massive, amorphous space wolf thing. Its legs only appear when it needs to move, and at the point they kind of distend from its lower torso and then kind of re-up when they go back, leaving only wisps of smoke to leave it kind of hovering in the air. And at this point, it settles a little bit. And you've seen it settle in the temple, but never obviously out in the open. But at this point, it sort of settles and just like stares down the body of Bryer Illick, just with these 3 glowing red eyes. But it does not interact with you guys anymore at this moment. What are you guys to do? And this is everyone else, I believe.
I am going through the ship system, seeing what works, what doesn't work.
Sure. The ship is pretty messed up. And I can give you for free that you could probably get this ship flying if you cannibalized your ship, or vice versa. Okay. There's definitely there's enough hull.
It was more about
more about what?
It was going to be more about if I can get the whole ship over to our ship, so we have to carry it less far.
That is going to be tough, depending on one thing. Can you go ahead and make an assessment roll for me, using intelligence, please?
Intelligence.
Mm-hmm. This is not your usual.
Yeah. Okay.
This is something that you might notice while looking at the ship's systems. 8. You with that, I'm going to give you this information. You can do with it what you want. You don't know what this is, though. There's a very clear power routing chart on this that he's been using to reroute power as needed to get to any given thing. There's been a ton of it pumped into the weapon at various points in time. At one point,
I already played with
you can see the logs where it was temporarily really boosted the signal of his communicator, and it's sort of it's very like almost Among Us like level, like simplistic kind of a thing. But there is one thing, and again, it shows you the logs of what power has been pumped to. There is one thing, which is that cargo has power to it. Maximum power has been sent to cargo, and it has been there for the recorded past. The logs only go about a week back at a time, and it has been up for that entire week. Never has he drawn power from that section. If you did,
Okay.
if you were to draw power from that section, you think you could probably get the ship to fly again, but you don't know what that is, so you don't know what you'd be risking without further investigation.
So he's got a lot of power going to his cargo hold. I could probably get this thing flying again if I reroute some of that power, but we should probably figure out what that is first.
Does anyone here have means of subtle entry into areas?
Subtle entry is my middle name. Merrick says. The first mate of the Freya.
You mean sneaky?
Yes. So he shrugs. Cat.
I mean, I got on this ship without any of you knowing.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we have a cat.
That too. I mean, I feel a lot better now than I did. That we've only got, as far as I'm concerned, now, no offense, he turns to the Paenra. He goes, no offense, but now if you wanted us dead, we'd be dead because we served your purpose and took care of Illic for you. So now I actually feel like we're probably not going to die here. So I'm feeling great. I'll do whatever.
Okay.
Okay, go check out cargo hold. See what he has so much power.
Yeah, anyone want to come with?
Send the sneaky cat with you, I would say.
Okay.
All right, you and me, Tal.
Let this go.
And you guys are going to have to cargo hold. Meanwhile, are you guys doing anything else, or are you just waiting around to get the answers to that?
I'd probably have their back. I'd
I will
be in
also
between
yell back, oh, by the way, Hal is hurt back at ship, so probably someone should go help.
Oh, okay.
Oh, fuck.
Just gonna shake his head, turn to the captain and ask.
Preferably someone who knows how to use medical equipment.
Do you want me to go back and lend assistance?
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
Do you want me to go back and lend assistance?
Yes, please. One of us has to, and I feel like I should be in this area. So, one of you two go back and help, please, if you don't mind.
Okay.
The more feasible option, considering that.
Gestures to race.
Right. Yeah.
I'm gonna start walking
Okay.
back.
You start to head back. Okay, you make your way back towards the ship. Keep in mind, I believe you are still exhausted. In fact, I believe most of you are, with the exception of Talon. You need a night's rest before you get rid of your disadvantage on certain rolls. Meanwhile, Talon and...
I forgot about that. In that case, could I have called VaTze to bring the flyer back?
Sure. Yeah. you call VaTze, and it takes a moment for a response, but once the response comes, it goes, yes, absolutely, please. He seems very eger to get out of the ship right now. He seems super uncomfortable, which is a rarity for VaTze, but right now he feels incredibly guilty. So VaTze gets on the flyer and starts making his way over. As soon as Talon and Merrick get up to go to the cargo hold, the Paenra stands as well and goes to follow you.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Who's holding the chunk of Paenra?
I believe that was back at the ship, wasn't it? Oh no, did you bring it with?
No,
we had brought it with us.
Oh,
it was
I volunteered to hold onto the stuff. I'm already holding onto the kind of orb thingy, so I might as well hold on to all the artifacts. And
let's put the gooey chunk back on Paenra.
Does that work?
I don't know. Paenra's going to approach you though when that's said. Sort of approaches you very, very slowly. You lift up the gooey chunk.
Yeah, try to see about is this an automatic? I mean, it's a non-Newtonian, semi-solid, slightly intelligent thing, material.
And what happens when you introduce a non-Newtonian liquid to another non-Newtonian liquid?
Well, hopefully, if they're both intelligent, they'll know how to bind together.
Well, wait. On that note, make sure you are not touching the Paenra, put the space Tupperware over, flip it against it maybe, so like a spider.
Yes. Fair enough. So yeah, just like turn it over, fork, scrape out.
Get a spatula.
The rubber scraper for your baking experiment is not necessary, as it turns out, because as you flip you actually don't even get to flip. You start to flip it, and as it does, it just sort of zooms out of the side of the bowl and onto the side of the Paenra. You see the sort of shifting of its flesh for a moment, and its wound was already sort of concealed, so you don't know. You don't, without actually like asking to look, you don't know. But as far as you can tell, it's been reabsorbed within the Paenra, who does a quick like lower his head really low and back up.
You're welcome.
Yeah. And did you have something else?
So
All right, let's go see what dastardly things this guy kept in his cargo hold.
I'm going to stay back, although I'm kind of uncomfortable about the corpse on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
You mean the corpse is in 4 pieces? Yes.
Yeah, the corpse there and there and there and there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just going to stay within earshot, but I'm also going to stay here because since there was an opening, I can get a clear communication signal, hopefully.
Yeah.
So I can play relay while also keeping a hold on this.
I mean, I had rerouted the power
you
from
had.
the gun
That's right.
to the
Yes.
communication.
But so yes, there is communication, so you can keep tabs on the rest of the other ship.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I make a? Can I take, like, since I'm kind of in between the cargo survey group and the artifact keeper, can I make a check of the things that are in Bryer's ship?
Sure.
I want to gather if there are pieces of like laboratory equipment.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and give me an assessment with I would say probably intelligence on this one.
Intelligence? Yeah. Intellect. Oh, 7. Okay.
7? I think with a 7, you don't find anything actionable. You do learn what kind of a ship this is, and it really, I think, would probably solidify some of the thoughts and like suspicions you might have held to him. This is not the ship of someone who left a planet that had been destroyed in search of vengeance, kind of haphazardly. This is a bounty hunter, and you've seen his kind before. You recognize the tools of the trade. You find a few like small arms sort of things, backup like laser pistols everywhere. It's the kind of thing where it's like if you hit a panel on the side of the ship, there's just like a knife under it, like just in case you need to grab one in case of a melee. This guy came expecting all kinds of trouble. This was not his first rodeo, and that pokes a lot of holes in his whole story. I think as usable stuff goes, you can sort of, if let me know, based on what I just gave you, what I would say probably pick a class 1 asset that could be a weapon or anything else that a bounty hunter might use, and I think you probably find that on the ship, which you can then make use of. Nothing for a lab, but maybe something for help that would help in a combat situation.
Okay.
Feel free to think. Yeah, think on that one.
A gift for Gammon.
Okay.
Meanwhile,
Have I got the surprise for you?
we'll get back to Halifax and the other ship in a minute. I want to get to the cargo hold though. You guys head to the cargo hold, which is locked down, but there's no roll needed. You figure out how to get through the lock. This is not like a high octane situation. Opening it up, you find the cargo hold has 3 like empty like crates. They're all 4 of these crates are the same type. They're these big metal like military grade crates, but one of them is actually closed and active. And when I say active, I mean that like it is glowing and pulsing. There's some sort of force shielding like on the outside of it. This is a containment thing. This is like Usually it's used to transport explosives, so that in case it goes off, the explosives don't ruin anything, or otherwise kind of just like volatile substances. And this crate is just locked down. That's what all the power is going to right now.
Is there anywhere I can look up like a manifest to see possibly what is in the crate?
This is again not strictly an up and up kind of ship. But if you want to comb through his own personal records, if you want to comb through his personal records and see if you can find anything, you're welcome to.
Sure.
Cool. You no immediate danger. Head back to the deck. So right now, Captain's picking through the ship. Halifax is going back to the other ship to help with Halcyon. So it leaves you and Ro. Between the two of you, if one of you wants to take point, the other one wants to help. You can probably get a nice job done. Who wants to take point on looking through ship logs information? It would be, again, this would be an intellect roll to sort of scour.
So Ro probably would be better. That will help.
All right. I'm not usually one for snooping in other people's stuff, but I guess I could just
We'll walk you through it.
I guess I could say that it's very very recent excavation.
Yes.
Archaeology.
He is dead, so it is archaeology.
Yes, exactly. I've always wondered, Ro just says, like, kind of to himself as he starts typing, when it stops being grave robbing and starts being archaeology. Like, where's that limit?
All right, go ahead.
10 minutes.
Go ahead and give me that assessment, and if you get mixed or lower, Talon can roll a help out.
All right. So I am rolling. Got a 6 and a 1, 7 plus 2, 9. So that is a mix.
It is up to you, Talon. If you would like to help him out, you can bring it up to a full success.
What does help out require?
It would be the same thing. You would roll intellect.
So it'd be intellect.
If you get even a mixed success, it'll up him to a full success. But it just means there might be some other consequence that goes along with it.
Yeah. Ooh. That's a 9 plus 1, 10.
Great. Okay, so the two of you working together managed to unpack this, and a lot of it is encrypted. But between the investigative skills of Ro and the technical skills of Talon, you manage to get to the bottom of this fairly quickly. And you go through that manifest. You piece 2 and 2 together, I would say, fairly aptly. The first piece you get is, wait. That crate has not always been, locked. I know it has been for the last week or so, but it's been open to add more into it. And that's what it's adding. It does not name, it measures in ounces. At this point, it's gone up to just about 13 pounds, which seems like a very strange amount for a crate that big, but hey. The second thing is buried deep. It was one of those things he deleted and emptied the trash, but you still know how to find the traces of, kind of a thing. And it is a letter. Not a letter. It's an email, basically a missive from an unnamed party that just signs their missive with an X as the whole thing. But this is basically a request. This is a bounty. This is a payment. He will be paying by the ounce for Paenra hide. And by the way, handsome payment. Like, it is 1 pound of Paenra hide is 10 cred. He was set to retire after this. That's
Holy fuck.
An actual fortune. Because this is a legendary one-of-a-kind beast.
Yeah.
So Ro, as this information starts coming out and we start making the links and stuff like that, Ro, his demeanor changes and his, the skin color slightly changes as well. I'm saying that like a slight cephalopod in there. Slight skin color changes as he realizes that this is exactly the kind of person that makes someone from the Galactic Society, that gives the Galactic Society a bad name. The people who go specifically hunting for animals for profit, that kind of thing. And this is one of those flies in the face of everything that he stands for. Is killing for sport or killing for profit. It's he Ro is a bit of a conservationist slash, he's not down with the whole going to new and exciting places and killing things there. So yeah, he's like, and then like the slight side eye towards Talon, and just like, I hope that nobody would be thinking about fulfilling this.
Of course not. I was literally about to ask with the Paenra what they would like us to do with it.
Paenra has not left the cargo hold.
I'm glad.
Okay, then I will return to the cargo hold.
Paenra is sitting patiently, it would seem, outside of this crate.
I get the feeling you already know what's inside there, yes?
Does its weird, fluid nod.
And you would very much like us to open it for you, yes? Okay. And then I will do so.
Okay. Rewriting the power, you can shut the crate down fairly easily. Yeah, very simple. And once you do, the crate kind of is very openable. And again, perfect gentleman. The Paenra waits very patiently for all of this to happen. And once it does, you get a look inside of it. 13 pounds is a lot. This is not very heavy, so that fills up about a quarter of this massive crate. It's a huge amount.
6 kilograms to anyone who's wondering.
Thank you. So yeah.
Just not.
And you watch as same thing with the bowl. It just sort of starts to climb its way up. The Paenra sort of like leans backwards a little bit and kind of opens up. You see the sort of weird non-Newtonian flesh kind of peel away to reveal a huge, like, unseen wound that it did not reveal to you guys before, that had just torn across so much of it. And as each bit fills in, you see all these different times when they've clashed, and Bryer's just gotten a little bit more and a little bit more. And you watch as this thing becomes whole again, or at least close to whole. And you realize that image that you saw, the first carving that you thought exaggerated how big maybe a Paenra actually is, was not quite as exaggerated as you thought. It nearly doubles in size by the time it's done. The kind of fluid part that's knocked off seems to condense compared to how large it kind of appears when it takes its more gaseous state. And so this now almost elephant-sized kind of creature barely fits in the cargo hold anymore, and kind of carefully squeezes its way down towards the closest wall to the ship, and just flays an exit for itself to climb its way out, because it can no longer fit the way it came in.
I could have opened the door for you. Okay.
I was about to say the same thing. We really should have opened the door.
And once it does that, it sort of hangs out outside of the ship for a few minutes. If anyone else wants to do anything with it or say anything to it, you may. But let's cut away from this for a hot second.
There goes keeping it as a pet.
Right?
Captain, did you decide what asset you wanted to find out?
Yeah. On the note, though, I wanted to say, when I heard that, because I wasn't there, I'd like to just stick my head out to make sure everything was okay and see a very large Paenra and just back in.
Immensely just straight back in. I think as you stick your head out to look, the Paenra turns its head to see you. The eyes have not changed size, so they just look smaller in its now much larger head. But it just looks to you and gives you a little bit of a nod.
Boy.
And then you go back in?
Yep.
Great.
Looks fine.
Okay.
So I know you said weapon. Can I ask for a kit of any kind?
Yeah. As long as it's a class 1 kit, class 1 asset.
Okay. I'm gonna keep it relative to the shit that's in his the contraband that's in his current inventory. Can I make it a survey kit?
Don't you already have 400 survey kits?
Yeah, but we also broke a couple during this thing. I mean, if you want to be technical about it, can I make it a broadcast kit?
Sure. And which can also just, if you want a survey kit, it's fine. I genuinely thought you had a whole bunch of them.
I'm going to just say what I want to do with this kit. You tell me what kind of kit it is.
Tell me what Bryer did with this kit.
I mean, I would imagine it would be unpacked and like scattered, like because his ship was grounded for a while. So I'm noticing between all of the big guns that I am going to try to carry something back as like a gas station souvenir for Gammon. There's like pieces of like things that I feel in my head might serve a purpose, a specific purpose. So I would like to call Ro back if that's possible.
Ro has not left the ship, I believe.
No, he was following. I was by myself, I think. You guys all left.
Well, he's been working with Talon on the ship, so he's still there.
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna call Ro.
All right. I hustle over.
I understand that my overzealousness to get us out of there back when we were wild jumping wasn't conducive to your lab, and as an apology, I noticed all this stuff, and I'm wondering if maybe you would look the other way at judging theft and we could just take it back. Is there anything that could help you out, like replenish some of the stuff that I caused, some of the damage?
Well, yes, we could probably restore a lot of stuff, although, with a little bit of refurbishment, but I suppose Talon will be pretty good at that. I've been actually having the same conversation with Talon. What does this still count as theft? Who owns this?
I guess we do now.
It's a little legally fraught, if you know what I mean.
There's a sudden kind of burst of air, and anyone looking outside would see the Paenra jump somewhere. Physically, not like into space, just leaping somewhere.
Okay.
Too fast to
He's
follow.
off.
I guess he doesn't want it, so it's ours now.
Yeah. Yep. I believe salvage rights is the correct term. I'm not a starfarer like yourselves, so I'm not sure what the rule of the high space is.
Listen, if anybody comes in to ask any questions, we'll just blame it on the human. It's okay.
Fair.
Merrick was not around. He was not around
lot.
to say I heard that, but you feel it in your heart.
Yes, of course.
we both paused to wait for him to say it, and he's not actually here.
And meanwhile, on the deck with Talon, Merrick's like kind of helping with Talon, and just weird.
Yes, all right.
Talon,
yeah, so I guess
hang on. You just went. Oh, he's talking to someone off screen. That's why. Okay. Let me. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
You go ahead.
I was gonna say. So you do find a then class 1 survey kit. That's fine. Get a nice replacement. Let me go to the house. Halifax and Halcyon.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I did not want to interrupt the scene.
Please, what's up?
Before I had left, could I take an adrenaline needle, please?
Yeah, you want to do that right now, or you just have one with you to...
I would have one with me until I get to Halcyon.
So you're using this.
So that...
Great. This is a very, very careful surgery. We love that. So before you walk in, you do a quick... you find the gap in the kind of plating that's outside of your skin. You give yourself some adrenaline. You feel yourself wake up. This is not going to last too long, but it should help you operate. This seems safe. You make your way into the ship. The emergency lights are on, I think, at this point. We've at least gotten that much power back. And you see the state that Halcyon is in. There's a weird sling over his kind of thing that's sort of dripping with ice. There's this blue like ooze coming out from the shoulder, which looks worse than the actual wound is, because it looks like it's some sort of pus, but it's Neosporin. The floor is yours.
It's gonna just stand in like in front of the door like before entering, and he's going to say,
"Oh fuck, Hulsen, you're looking like shit right now."
Feels like shit too. Gammon saved my life though, multiple times.
You sure you weren't just hallucinating that?
No, remember the explosive thingy that Talon made Gammon for his rifle? You know the death robot that Brian had? Like his robot assistant thing? It was on the ship. Yeah.
Oh.
It was on the ship, and I was a good distraction.
Alright, well, I'm here. Well, I still have some adrenaline pumping through me to help as best I can.
Oh, shit, you should have led with that. Okay. And Halcyon's demeanor just changes a little bit and just sits up a little bit straighter in the reclining chair and is starting to direct Hal with what supplies to get, where they're located, and begins taking off the cryo sling.
Absolutely. So I'm going to tweak the rules of how the help out usually works and say, in this case, you must roll your help out before the procedure begins because it can't happen without your help, given that you're the doctor. So go ahead and give me a help out with the medicine one. Intellect. And we'll see how we go from there.
That's regular. Okay. That's 11.
Fantastic. This automatically ups your success rate by 1, which means a mixed success counts as a success, and a failure is still a mixed success for you. So a lot less pressure. That said, no, you have your adrenaline, so you're not even at a disadvantage. So go ahead and roll me a patch up with intellect, please.
With intellect?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Medicine.
Nice. With the +1 for my interface, that is a 12.
Fantastic. Wow. Damn. With a sort of synergy that comes only from dire straits and adrenaline, the two of you manage to piece the arm back together. It's not perfect. You can do a better job later on, but this way there's no permanent damage. You get a sort of basically a ball bearing or the equivalent of where it usually is. So your arm's a little sluggish, but it's still usable. It'll require some rest to heal fully. I am going to reduce that down to a major wound rather than a critical one or severe, or whichever the third one is. I always forget the difference. Severe. Reduce from severe down to major, and I'm going to remove the debilitation entirely. So it's just a busted shoulder is still the major wound, but it is not actually debilitating. It is just a wound that is present until it heals. Because that raised the success to the stellar, you can do some truly incredible things with that. And you did. The procedure takes time though, and by the end of it, Halifax, you put the finishing touches on it and go to the wall and pass out. It's done. You're out.
I imagine Gammon is still in the room.
Sure, yeah.
And just
he has a blue squeezy tube.
Not really helping so much as just oh, you need this thing. Here you go. Mm-hmm. I'm helping.
Yeah.
Just staring
and saying, they're thrilled to be doing that. They're just kind of watching the whole time, just oh, yeah, I can get you. Yeah, absolutely. And he hands you a scalpel. They hand you a scalpel with just immense enthusiasm. Talon, your comment about just standing there saying gross is correct, but it's not gross. It's gross. They're very excited about how gross it is.
So how I would react.
What's gonna say before clocking out against the wall? He's gonna say,
"You better fucking rest."
Just clock out.
And with Hal's last little bit of their own energy, because that took a lot out of them on top of being exhausted. Hal is just gonna say to Gammon, can you get Hal in one of the beds?
You got it.
And just gonna recline back and pass out.
Lifts
Still
up
in the surgery chair.
Picks up how like a barbell, and just like carries Hal over and gently rests him down on the bed.
What a himbo.
All right. So at this point in time, the time-sensitive stuff on this planet is done. You guys are no longer in immediate peril. No one's gonna die. So we're in a bit of, I wouldn't say downtime, but at least time that we can like skip ahead on the minutia a little bit. So rather than you telling me each individual action, I basically want to know what you guys want to get done on this planet before you take off and to prepare to take off. So I will start with, I think, the one who is required to get us off the planet. Talon, what is your game plan here for getting the ship flying again?
I'm going to use my new move from
Ooh.
leveling up.
Let's hear it.
Dismantle.
Fantastic. What does that do?
And I'm going to dismantle his ship.
So what does dismantle say? Help us out here.
I roll, and on a 10 plus, I choose 2. 7 to 9, I choose 1, and I can choose between it doesn't take very long, it doesn't attract too much attention, you recover useful components, you could rebuild or reassemble it, and you gain a data point about it.
Fantastic. I think that typically this would not work for starships. They're a bit too complicated for that. But you were literally just trying to take the parts you need, so I'm totally fine with that. Give me your dismantle roll. I love that.
Yep, that's a 10.
Fantastic. So choose 2 from the list. What are we taking?
Well, useful components, and it doesn't take too long.
Fantastic. So this job, repairing your ship, fully repairing it, cannot be finished on the planet. However, getting it flying and like relatively stable, you can manage. And with the components from his ship, you manage to get everything you need. You managed to get enough hull to patch up your hull breaches. He still had about 30% of his fuel left in the tank. That'll get you to your next destination before you have to refuel. You can make all the systems that were damaged during the firefight on the bridge. You get the parts you need for that. And additionally, because you got a rousing success with that, I'm going to say over the course of, and we are going to say it's still time. You're still disassembling a starship and repairing a starship with no like workstation. So we'll say you probably have to spend 2 days on this planet, which will also set a time frame for what everyone else is doing. But in those 2 days, name one other thing you find on his ship that is not just the basics to repair and the basics to get your ship flying again, that is an additional thing that you find and you're like, ooh, I can use this for your finding useful things.
The schematics for his robot.
Okay, I love that. Absolutely, yes. As it turns out, when you're scrounging around for this, before you take his CPUs apart so you can get data, that's where it comes from. You get these... It turns out the robot itself is a pretty typical kind of assistant model, but he did heavy modifications to it, and you find the notes on that. He's not a roboticist first and foremost, so he took extensive notes on this to make sure it worked, and he paid other people to kind of help him out, and there's all the logs of how it's done so he can fix them if needed. So yeah, you absolutely find the schematics for Telemachus. The Telemachus, by the way, is a model of a robot called a T-Mech. And it's just kind of the brand and line it is, but that's also where his name came from.
Okay.
Now Talon has to make a robot that explicitly curses. Just Rambo style. We just need a robot like that on the ship, please and thank you.
So yeah, absolutely. You
Sorry, I already have plans.
Oh yeah, he certainly does. Cool. So that's what you're up to, and you'll be up to that for a bit. Everyone who saw Halcyon's camera go dark, don't worry, he'll be back. Ro, you got 2 days on an alien planet. What do you want to do? You're muted.
Of course I am. After I'm sure that everything is cool, I'll take the sphere back to the ship, to our ship.
Mm-hmm.
Put it in whatever kind of packing material that we have, like pressure mold some styrofoam or something for it. Make sure that it's nicely
You've
packed.
shipped cargo
Paenra
before, so that's easy enough.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's one of those like part of digging it up is shipping it back home wherever that is. So do all the appropriate stuff, wrap in bubble wrap, that kind of thing. And the Paenra didn't seem to be too opposed to us keeping it because they didn't seem to want it back. So then I am going to equip myself with as much recording gear as I can. Extra SD cards, cameras, that kind of thing, and mount a mini expedition, a much safer expedition now that we know that the apex predator is on our side, back to the main temple and meticulously and eye-blearingly record everything and forget to sleep and eat. It's that kind of like, like it's the equivalent of playing Civilization. You're like just one more wall panel, just one more wall panel, and then next thing you know, it's like 2 a.m, and you're like, where did the time go?
So I'm gonna say there's no.
So yeah, he's just big bags under. Oh, I guess bags under the eyes. Do fish get bags under the eyes? Anyway,
this one can. I'm going to say there's no threat.
Yes.
There's no threat to botching this, but doing better rolls are going to get you some extra stuff. Can you give me an assessment roll using intelligence, please? Or intellect?
Absolutely.
I keep saying intelligence. And we might get some extra stuff in here,
too.
Yeah,
it's fine. A 5, and a 2, which is a 12.
Yes, it is. So I'm going to say you get through. It's pretty eye-blearingly boring, but you are dedicated and you've done this before. So you actually finish the temple on day 1, which gives you a whole extra day to explore. And you figure, hey, this is not the only structure on this planet. Maybe you can go check out some other ones. So I'm going to say...
Well, there was that small one that we had found.
Yeah, so you document that one as well. But there's other ones too that are, you hitch a ride on the flyer that no one's using right now. You can get over there. What do you? I'm trying to put a bit of a bow on everyone's court here. You also find something useful, knowing what little you know about the civilization. What would you like to find on your tiresome documenting expedition that would actually be of immediate use to the crew? If you need to think on that, I can get back to you.
Immediate use to the crew? Yeah, I can. I'll need to think on that.
It can also just be immediate. Like, it can also just be a cool new thing you've discovered. Like, that's fine. Get back to me on that. Okay.
Sure.
Halcyon, aside from recovering, you got a solid 2 days on this planet. Do you have anything you would like to accomplish or do?
Well, Hal doesn't... Hal wouldn't know offhand that the Paenra has been healed, per se.
I mean, the information will get to you at some point, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to think of if there's anything I would do other than rest and recover. I'd make sure everybody else is fine.
Sure. So I'm gonna do this for you then. If you're sort of lending what little assistance you can on while still recovering your shoulder around people. You're going to various people. You're kind of getting some things done. Gammon checks up on you constantly. And at one point, you're walking from the. You had to Talon. You managed to get Bryer's ship flying closer so you could dismantle it properly, but there's still a bit of a distance. Because just a safe place to land. So there's one point where you are walking towards from ship to ship, Halcyon, sort of stretching your legs, sort of near the end of the first day. The moons are just beginning to rise. When you hear the of the Paenra's arrival near you.
Okay. Hal just like instinctively just like freezes in place, and it's like, if you were gonna kill me, you would have done it by now.
Seems to be the motto of this thing. It stalks out from behind some of the trees. This is, again, the first time you're seeing it at its full size. Immense creature. And I think seeing you sort of look up at it, it instinctively goes as low to the ground as it can, which basically just looks now just like a giant, just like tube of this non-Newtonian fluid just sitting there, trying very hard to be at eye level and still being taller than you.
Oh my God.
It's okay. Would it be safe to assume that like how I know about the cargo?
By now, yes. Incident? By now you would have heard what happened. You just hadn't actually seen it.
Be like, They told me that they found some more of your body on the ship and that you got bigger. I didn't realize it was this big. I take it you're doing better now? Well, that's good. Are you complete? So there's still more of you missing. Do you know where that is?
No response. You may recall that's typically how it responds when yes or no doesn't cut it.
Yeah, complex answers. Okay. Would you... You're big. I don't know if you'll fit on our ship very easily.
Shakes its head.
I will promise you this. We will keep an eye out for it, and if we find any more of it, then we will return it with it and bring it back to you. Does that sound okay?
It, rather than nodding, it does a thing where it sort of lowers its head a little bit and it gets its nose, or what should be its nose, kind of just really close to you.
Hal, like, just instinctively reaches his one relatively good hand out and like gives some scritches.
Okay.
Or as close to scritches.
You
as
do
can.
that thing where this fur kind of almost moves around your fingers, and when you pull your hand away, it remains. There's a little bit of this non-Newtonian fluid stuff kind of swirling around your hand a little bit, and it kind of settles in your palm. It pulls away.
You want me to have this? Why? That's not something you can answer easily. Thank you. I'm sure I'll figure out why in time, but thank you. I'm glad to see that you're doing significantly better than when we first met.
And with that, it's gonna turn and get ready to go, unless you stop it. Okay.
I'm just gonna say, I hope I see you again.
It takes a few steps and you watch it jump. You've never actually seen this happen. You've heard it happen. You've heard its arrival. This is the first time seeing it take off. And as it jumps, it almost, that same wispy sort of look that the legs have when it's standing there, it takes that on, making it almost invisible as it moves. But you follow this streak of just like blackish mist through the sky as it curves upwards towards the atmosphere and vanishes out of sight.
Oh. Huh. Did not expect that.
Okay.
And then Hal is going to like jump back onto like the group comms and just say, we put the beacon orb egg thing back in the temple, right?
We asked it and it did not want it back, so I've packaged it away. I'm not taking any other samples.
Oh, right. We're keeping it.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Forgot about that.
Well,
okay.
until I can get back to the academy, at which point it belongs in a museum.
I am asking.
Okay, awesome. Thanks.
That was a why are you asking, I believe, was the question.
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
It just jumped off the planet. Like off.
Yeah, I get what you mean. All right.
I'm not sure you do. Like it jumped.
I know the stories.
It jumped into space. I don't get what's to get.
Quick troubleshooting. Elle, if you can go into your audio settings and turn audio background suppression to low, it's cutting out a lot of the voice mod stuff because it believes it's background noise right now. I've encountered the same problem. Cool.
Whereas-
Fucking lame.
So
That was beautifully clear and crisp.
so good.
It was like ASMR right there.
All right.
Also, it gave me some of its flesh.
Cool.
I'm gonna go back to the ship and lay down. I'll be in the med bay if you need me.
All right.
Please don't need me for a few hours.
Okay.
You should probably get the flesh checked out.
Okay. You make your way back to the med bay. It doesn't seem to mind being held. I feel like just as you go, it sort of adjusts to wherever your hand is at and sort of sticks with you. You don't.
I mentioned we do still have the Tupperware. I haven't been able to get that kind of yellowish stain out of there, but I mean,
I don't think we'll need the Tupperware.
By the time you get back to the med bay and kind of settle into a bed, sure enough, it does just sort of kind of up your shoulder, off of the side, and just like bedside table just sort of chills. What?
My fucking god!
You have a Paenra puppy.
No, please, God!
All right, so that's Halcyon's time.
It turns out petting it is how it reproduces.
Just need some.
We've got Talon, Halcyon, and Rose time on the planet sort of spent and settled. Halifax, what do you have in mind?
The only thing that I can think of is A, sleep.
Definitely.
B, I would like to somehow kind of incorporate part of my level up. I don't need it like right away,
Well, what do we
but
got?
at least like get to work on it. My level up is I got a custom flyer.
Ooh.
That's up to a class 3, either
Ooh.
shuttle or speeder. So I'm gonna hit that up
Well,
and see what I can do.
I'll tell you what then. While you're helping Talon take apart the starship, I think you find the framework of something. I think it's probably been a bit cannibalized to the point where a lot of the parts have been taken. You realize it's every single part that was needed to like help stabilize overcharging, which he used to juice up his rifle. So right now it is not safe to fly, and a lot of the other parts have just been removed and kind of taken apart. But the framework is immaculate. This flyer, given a simple engine and whatever little pieces you want, could be put together fairly simply. So I'll say you can get that, and with some work, especially once
that is sorry, that is quite poignant because one of the tags I chose for it is rugged, and it's one of it is that it's easy to repair. So that's just like
phenomenal.
chef's kiss.
Yeah, that definitely fits. What other tags did you pick?
Agile and stealthy.
That all fits for a thing Bryer already had. So I'm gonna say this thing, as part of Talon's excellent repair roll, you guys can get this thing working. This is a level up move. I don't want you to roll for this. So I think over the course of the 2 days, by the time that finishes, Bryer's little like stealth flyer is done and done. It is fully equipped with stealth capabilities. It is rugged. It is quick. And I'm going to say it probably has some basic weaponry on it too. Nothing too fancy. But if you want to shoot a laser out the front of it, you can shoot a laser out the front of it.
Thank you. I won't say no.
Great.
So
that
I'm just imagining during the whole looking for salvaging pieces, pulling off the big tarp. You know, that scene of pulling the tarp off and having like going, the low whistle. I can't whistle.
And there's something of an awe. There's something of an awe and respect that comes with it too, because it's like knowing he had this tech and knowing that it was built for stealth and speed specifically for the foe he had, but he realized it was not good enough. So it's just a certain like, whoa. Because it's great. You try it out, you fly it around. It's a solid speeder. It's good at what it does. It's fancy, it's fast. It has a full cloaking feature. It's good to go. Cool. All right. And Captain, do you have anything you would like to do on the planet before we go?
Captain stuff.
Captain stuff.
I think I would just spend most of my time checking in on every single person.
Sure.
We don't have to do
Sure.
that, but checking in on every single person. And I feel like, because I think Phera, I think I made her like 40 or something. So I feel like I'm channeling my inner mom here, and I feel like I would kind of like feel a little guilty as like knock on the door like, hey buddy, kind of like, is there anything I can get for you? I think especially besides the main crew, I would say Gammon and VaTze and Hugo, not so much Merrick, he's fine.
Sure.
I also think during that time, and with any opportunity I have, I'm going to kind of like drag Halifax along to make like to do the duties and be like, this is what you have to do, kind of thing.
Sure. So Gammon's fine. Gammon's living the dream. It's very hard. Gammon, and this goes for a lot of Radiant, they don't hold on to stuff. They come from a people that were literally like, their whole culture is warfare. So they're used to people just like living and dying at the drop of a hat. Life's too short to hold grudges is very much their thing. So Gammon is having the time of their life.
Was anybody able to take apart the gun on Bryer's ship or rip it off the thing? Did anybody do that?
So here's what I'm going to give you for that, especially because we've already gotten several useful things from the ship above and beyond what it was originally capable of. That gun is fried. He treated that gun so poorly. If you think a battle of attrition would have won you that, he had maybe 3 or 4 shots left of that before it was toasted. And it will absolutely never function as a regular rifle again. Too much energy has gone through it. The inner workings are fried.
Gas station souvenir, baby. I just wanted to grab it
Hell yeah.
at some point and give it to Gammon and be like, here, buddy. And that's like me checking in with them. I'm like, how are you doing?
Captain,
it's like, here, I got
another
you
one? We see Gammon go into his room, and like there's already several open racks, and he like looks and he finds the one that's the right size and just hangs this broken gun. You see there's like other like guns that have been broken in half and like rusted like blades that he's found in places. Like absolutely collects defunct weapons. Super thrilled about it.
Excellent. And that's the end of me asking Gammon if they're okay, because that's like me. Yeah. I was more just like giving them a once over and being like, they're fine.
You see Gammon peels off the equivalent of like duct tape basically, and to make a quick label, and writes a name. He names all his names all their defunct weapons, and he has called this rifle Sneezy.
Oh my god.
Okay. Hugo is doing much better since the Paenra. He got the news that the Paenra left the planet. Now that the planet is effectively empty, except for like bugs and things, and that the madman hunter is not there, and he is on a ship that has power back, he's feeling great. He's very eagerly helping Talon with repairs so they can get off the planet. But Hugo's keeping himself busy and doing well.
I think that for Hugo, my particular method of like caring for his needs is like letting him talk about something that I wouldn't give him like 5 minutes for, and being like, okay, I'll give him like 8 minutes, and I'll just like let him talk about something that he's really interested in, and like nod and like kind of hang out for a minute, and that's me trying to like make sure
Captain?
he's okay. Oh yes, of course. I've got nothing
Okay,
right now.
Because I think it's absolutely insane that every civilization across the world is still going with suspension bridges. There's other ways to physically build bridges, but everyone goes through that first. And he just goes on this tangent of like...
He's hating every second of this.
And the only problem spot comes in at VaTze. VaTze is in his room, even though the ship has power again. The room always closed and locked. So when you approach this room, how do you approach this?
Has Halifax ever gone to his room?
I would say.
Oh, no,
Okay.
I wouldn't.
So I would, around the corner, I'd be like, why don't you, you're fine. It's okay. I'll
Just
handle
doing
this."
like a hard 180 and just going in the opposite direction.
Yeah. I'm glad I nailed everybody's little like love languages. So you're okay. And then I'll like gently knock on Vexius' door.
There's no response.
Vexius, it's me.
Hello?
Can you open up?
Must I? Is that an order?
I'm gonna sit down on the floor and be like, no, it's not an order. We could do it this way again. It's okay. I just want to check in on you.
Had a rough go of it this time, Captain. I'll be all right.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I think I forced you into situations you weren't comfortable in, thinking it was going to keep you safe.
I've been going over it in my head, metaphorically speaking, over and over again, trying to figure out what I would have done differently had I been in command. And quite frankly, I don't blame you for any of what happened. We crash-landed on a hostile planet, and every time that there was perceived danger, I believe you made the best call. It's never about the calls you make. If I didn't agree with the calls you make, I would not still be here. But it was just... When you think through every possible situation that could have happened and realize that the terrifying one that almost got you killed was the best one, it's a lot to take in.
Yeah, story of my life. Would you have wild jumped?
Sooner than you did. And probably not as accurately.
That's way too kind, but thank you.
I mean, there was a safety field. I wouldn't have wild jumped because I didn't believe it was physically possible, but were I
Of course, there it is.
Were
there
I
it
in
is,
your
okay.
shoes, not actually seeing the inner workings of the computing, then yes, I would have.
Is there anything you need?
No, I'm all right. I will be all right, Captain. Just some time, I think.
I know you will.
I'll be better when we're off
Okay,
the ground.
I'm gonna stand up.
Okay.
Me too, buddy.
Okay.
I'm gonna vamos.
Okay. So, you guys get set and get ready to take off. Part of that is going to be charting a course, which we will do in a second, but there's actually a scene that goes hand in hand with that. The next part of the game is something called cramped quarters. It is something that happens when people are in a tight space with not ideal circumstances for long times, like on space voyages. I'm going to resolve some of it on the planet, some of it planet side, and some of it otherwise, but these are things we already rolled for. And depending on how the roll was, I have a different prompt for a scene. So we're going to take a quick 5-minute break. Make it a shorter one because we've had a shorter session this time. So everyone be ready. We'll be back very, very shortly. And we'll dive into some cramped quarters and hopefully we can get through all that. Should be a lot of fun. I don't know why I said, I don't want to, make it sound like this is, boring. I wouldn't include it if I thought it was really boring. It's going to be great. But I am excited to get to whatever comes next.
This is where the drama lies.
Yes. All right.
Yeah.
So, guys, thanks for being here. We will be back shortly. That.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Five.
Yeah.
And we're back. Hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. I think I'm getting the hang of this transition thing after 4 weeks of attempting it. All right. So, we're back. I mentioned cramped quarters briefly. I would like to explain that in only slightly more detail. I don't see the need to go into all the minutiae, but basically what it means is everyone has made a roll already. Bless you. And they have, bless you, and they have chosen a character for that to be about. It's basically which character are you having an interaction with. On a positive interaction, you can kind of bond and learn something cool about them and like kind of grow your trust together. On a mid interaction, there's sort of a question which can get answered, maybe like a little bit of a secret that can be divulged that you might not necessarily want divulged, but it's not necessarily something bad. And on a 6 or lower, something there's bad blood between you, something rocky happens to we make the relationship a little tenuous or stressed. So because these are with each other, I'm trying these with scene work rather than quick resolutions, and we're going to see how it goes down. We're just sort of experimenting today, but it should be cool. The first one I would like to do is while we remain on the planet right now, because once the flyer is recovered and the ship repairs are at the point where you realize, all right, this is real, we are getting off the planet. The next step is to chart a course. You guys have to figure out where you're going, and that is the job of the captain and the pilot, respectively, together working on this. Now, Halifax, you have a move which you are using, which allows you to add a special feature to your long journey, correct? And you are in the middle of sort of plotting this course. Everyone's doing their own thing right now. Talon's still working. Halcyon's still resting. But you call the captain in to check the course that you are doing. And the first thing that I need the two of you to do together is basically choose where you're stopping. The fuel you have is not going to get you, I mean, where you're going in general, but also where you're stopping. Pause. Where are you guys planning on going once you can get back to space? Would you like to try to finish your delivery with whatever medical supplies you have left? Do you want to adjust your course in any way? Have you changed your priorities entirely? You lost one of the 4 crates of med supplies, so you can still deliver most of it, but not all of it. Depends on who you're shipping for. You don't know who's receiving it. Chances are they'll just dock your pay, maybe do half, because it's not a complete delivery. Some people might hold a grudge. Some people might be generous and understand that things happen. Tough call. But so that's a question for the captain. Do you want to finish the drop? Sure. Oh my god. Wait. Yep. Please hold. I'm so sorry. No one could hear anyone except for me. I just bragged about the transitions too.
You did.
I'm
Your
so
transitions
sorry.
were great.
I'm so sorry.
Dang.
Oh
No,
boy.
so good.
All right.
Basically, what I said was that I would.
You have to go all the way back, though.
Oh, that's
Well,
right.
luckily
Yeah.
I was doing most of the talking with that.
Okay.
I don't think we missed too much except for that question.
The decision.
Okay. So we know that we lost.
We're dropping it.
No, I responded to the question. I think we're okay. We're just gonna keep moving. So,
Okay. Never mind.
yeah, go ahead and repeat what you said about why we're going where we're going, Captain.
Okay. In these calls in these talks with Halifax, as Halifax is like doing the navigation, we're going to drop off the cargo. I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, but we don't know who this shipment is for, and because of that, I'm going to say that we should just transport the rest of what we have, cut our losses.
I think that is fairly agreeable, Captain.
Okay, then you know where. Do you have the last coordinates, or do you need VaTze to come in here?
No, ma'am, I haven't. Thank you.
Okay.
And so you start plotting your course. While you're doing that, you can, again, you have to make a stop. You're getting close. Again, you have to sort of travel the main lanes to get from place to place. And that means stopping at a developed world of some kind to refuel, repair, and whatnot. Give talent a proper place to work. There's enough diversity in civilized space that you should be able, assuming that your first jump to get back to civilized space goes well, you should be able to pick the type of place you'd like to visit and find one. So if you want to find a place that's sort of like off the beaten path, backwater, don't really have anything, not going to be able to do much, but no one's going to be there, you can go there. If you want to go to like a highly advanced planet to like maybe get some upgrades or get cheaper repairs, you can do that. If you want a very popular type of planet to stop by as a transitional planet that's like just recently developing space travel, because there's tons of trade and travel and traffic going through there. A scientific one, like whatever kind of a stop you want to make, you can tell me now basically, and then see what there is in the area you can land at.
I do not want to make a stop.
That is not an option. You need fuel. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
This is.
Oh, that's
yes,
why. Okay.
Is...
Phera would not want to make a stop, but if it's pertinent to we need fuel, then a place where I
Fuel and
know,
repairs.
yeah, we can do repairs. So something that is populated and civilized to the point where we can get things without like tapping trees for shit.
So like a transitional planet, somewhere that's new to space game, but not like not popular or famous. Cool, got it. Fantastic. Yep. So taking a quick look, you do a few quick scans. Once your scanner is back to being fully operational, there is a planet known as Talania, which is relatively close to where you need to be. It's you could stop there, and as long as you can fully refuel while on Talania, you should be able to make it to your destination within one shot. You should be able to make it back there fairly quickly, as quickly as space travel ever goes. But there's one more problem, because you're charting the course through with the captain, and your special move lets you safely, I believe you chose to safely avoid a certain faction. Is that correct?
Yes.
You know the trails you would need to take to do that. You know, you have the chatter, you always pay attention to that kind of thing. You know how big of a deal they are. The faction you were avoiding is...
The listeners.
The listeners, yes. Phera, you are watching Halifax chart this course and realizing something that for a pilot is difficult. The course that Halifax is charting would work perfectly fine to avoid the listeners for any other ship. However, the jump lanes they are taking are close enough to the main ones that you know what that means for someone of your unique situation, which I don't believe they are aware of. And now something has to change, because otherwise they are not going to be safely transporting you after all.
We can't go this way.
Captain?
This route doesn't work. We can't go this way.
Why? I mean, I would, if I may say candidly, I would love to avoid the listeners at all costs, and I'm assuming that everyone else on the ship would be very grateful for not another incident to occur. But if that is not what you want, I can plot a different course, Captain.
Yes, do that. The less you know, the better. And I know that is not your MO, but you have to trust me on this one. There are certain reasons why we can't go this way. And if you knew them, then it would only be putting you at risk.
Yes, Captain.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, and after saying so, Halifax is gonna shut off his neuromask for now. It's gonna just and gonna plot the course, avoiding a different faction if possible, because now there's other factions that now like Halifax wants to try to like kind of like think through and process and pick a different route.
I'm gonna say this. You're
Yeah.
trying to piece together why the captain, like, what about this route? This is not an area of space either of you know, to your knowledge. So you're trying to figure out what exactly that means. And the problem is there's not, like, the way you're taking is the back road. Like, as far as you're concerned, that's as close to a back road as you can come without, like, not hyper jumping or doing some really weird, hyper jumps in this area. And it's because, like, it's uncertain where you're going to land when you get back into civilized space. That's the reason you have to do it, like, that way even. But it does feel like you don't know how, with that information you've been given, to navigate avoiding anyone unless you're given a why. Like, you don't know what you're supposed to be avoiding. You don't know what about that route isn't good.
All right.
You can still do that, but if you're running the route by the captain, she may notice the same thing because she has not told you what it is.
It's just a lot of like thinking and then going back and rerouting and then just deleting the whole thing and trying to reroute again and just kind of like visibly kind of getting a bit frustrated.
Halifax.
And then the Neuromax is going to come back on. He's going to say,
Yes, Captain.
This way that you've charted is impossible to cross. Find a different route. We have all of space. I don't care if we have to circumvent an entire planet. You're not taking the crew down that path. Get it done.
Captain, any other route's gonna be difficult. Just to get to a planet to refuel. I don't understand why we can't just take this route.
Hal,
Captain.
Merrick is going to call over. He's been sort of listening from the door. And he's going to come over and he's looking at the screen and go... He kind of looks up at the captain a little helplessly and goes, hang on. You have like a few different routes up on the screen now because you were just like rebuilding them over and over again. And he goes... He points at one of them that does look okay to you, Phera. It's really out of the way, but it does look okay. He goes, this one should be okay. Trust the captain in this one.
If we have the fuel, that's where we're going.
It's not gonna... Yes, Captain.
Okay.
and I'm going to plot that route. It's going to just sit back in the chair.
And that was a mixed success. Cool. Let me go to something a bit more lighthearted. Talon, you rolled a 10. So we find you. That was the last thing I think that needed to happen on planet. So at this point in time, you're traveling through space. Halcyon, your arm is healing up really nicely. Everyone is sort of getting acclimated to space again. You've probably been in space for a couple of days, and you're getting closer to your destination, but of course, tensions run a bit higher the longer you are in these close quarters, especially because you are still sort of running on empty a little bit. Let me go ahead and change the music. Fantastic. So, Talon, we find you in your workshop with the, now half reassembled body of Telemachus. You've been working on this since once you were sure the ship was not going to break apart as soon as you exited atmosphere. You've been working on this bad boy, and you hear through the comms, you hear VaTze's voice. So, remind me again what it is. You said you wanted me to come and weigh in on this. I'm not really an electronics expert. What do you need me to weigh in on?
Well, it was more about your own capabilities of integrating with electronics, not necessarily your knowledge about electronics that I was curious about.
All right. Well, it's something I do frequently. I'm certainly most comfortable inside electronics. That's why I typically live in the ship, which is great while we're flying through space and not getting shot at.
Yes, and you are able to pilot my flyer, of
Yes.
course, and back and forth, which is very useful. I was curious about how does it feel?
That's difficult. My kind don't have neural networks in the same way that you do. That is to say, we don't feel things the same way you do. To feel requires a brain for the neurons to go back to, so to speak. It just sort of is. I feel emotions and things like that, but other than that, I just sort of exist. Feelings and I aren't really close friends.
So you exist in the world, but you don't really have a chance to interact with it.
Well, in my own way, I suppose. I'm capable of interacting in the world, but it's harmful for me to do so on a regular basis, and it's not my preferred state of being, so no complaints there.
Would you like to?
No, because it would be harmful to myself, right?
What if you had like something to be in that lets you do it?
And at this point, there's a moment of pause, and it seems VaTze has finally put together what you're talking about and goes, "You mean that thing that you're working on now?"
Yes.
Oh. Well, I hadn't really considered that. I can't exactly take over a system that's in place unless I've been allowed into it. I'm not like a Cyoxy. I can't hack through a firewall or anything like that. I can simply go in. Someone needs to click OK on the file transfer, so to speak, if that makes sense. But if you're rebuilding this from the ground up and give it those permissions, I would not complain at having a backup to go into should things get a little dodgy again.
As soon as I got to that point, I was planning on wiping its memory anyway.
Oh, well, terrific. Yes. Oh, I would love that. Fantastic. Thank you.
Then if we go on like shore leave or something, you can actually come.
Oh, well, we'll talk. Again, thank you. Is there anything I can do to help, or?
Use all this thing's big guns to help when needed?
We'll talk.
Fair.
It's laggy, by the way. Just want to let you know the stream's a little bit laggy again.
So it is.
Just check your skipped frames.
Yeah, I just saw it spike, but it does seem to have leveled out now, so it should be back to normal.
Okay.
Yeah, a bit of lag I don't mind. It seems to have leveled.
Okay. It was a little more than the typical bit, so that's why I interrupted.
I appreciate it. Good to be kept on track. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
So you over the course of this time, go ahead and make me a patch-up roll. Actually, this is a separate thing. You have the parts needed for this, but go ahead and roll this.
Expertise.
Yes, sir.
10 again. Damn.
Crushing these rolls. Yeah, I would say with a 10. By the time you get to this station, the only thing you really need to do is, I would say, get a few extra little pieces. I would say the two middle arms are absolutely unserviceable. They got shotgun exploded. There's nothing to be done for them. So you need some scrap, but it's scrap that you don't need to pay for. It's scrap that you can pick up the next time you land at a place to make this fully functional. But other than that, it'll be a quick attach and it'll be ready to go. Cool.
All right.
Great. Let's go.
Be my robot friend.
Let me find where. Oh, my notes closed. Right. Let's go next to. No, hang on. I do want to. I swear I have them printed out somewhere here, but maybe I did not print these ones. I'm gonna reopen it. No, because it's gonna make the lag come back. You know what? No, like the olden days, we're improving. Let me go to Halcyon next. Halcyon, the original.
Oh no.
The original scene. You gave a few options, and one of them was with the Paenra, which you sort of already had at that moment. But that was separate from a cramped quarters roll. I believe the other one you mentioned was Roe.
Gammon, Hugo, or Roe, I believe.
I like keeping it personal. Let's make it. Let's get me out of this situation wherever we can. Let's make it Roe.
Okay.
So, you also had a mixed success. Is that correct?
Correct.
So basically, what that means. Oh, I got it. I remember the scene. Great, fantastic. So, this comes at a time. Roe, you have your own frustrations, which we will be addressing shortly. But one of the things you've been asked to do for the duration of this flight is just sort of being one of the most knowledgeable science people here, kind of helping monitor Halcyon and his recovery and making sure everything's going smoothly. And you've had a chance to, you've been spending a lot of time in the med bay, kind of going through some things. And you see there is a... you're at some point going through like one of the computers. You were asked to like log data or whatever, and you see a message, a transmitted message received. It is encoded, but not hard to crack. It is very clearly like a private message. It's the kind of thing that very well could be totally harmless and innocuous, but it's also the kind of thing that could be like, if someone were to be sneaking around behind the captain's back, this is how they would do it, and you happen to be staring it in the face. How you handle this message is completely up to you. Halcyon is lying in the medical bed not too far away from you.
Just
Is there
knocked out.
Is there any indication as to who this is addressed to or from?
It would be Halcyon. It is Halcyon's personal computer that you are logging this into, because that's where he keeps his medical logs. From, you would need to decrypt it to find out. And again, that's not hard to do.
I wanted to know if it was like if it was in his outbound tray or inbound tray. Honestly, as I've mentioned in the past, Ro is so not into that whole like sneaking kind of thing. It doesn't really occur to him to be underhanded. It's so he'll just go, huh. He'll make a note of, like a mental note of it, and he'll sit down, next to Hal and surreptitiously look around, pull out his own like data pad, and keep making corrections and revisions on his own thesis statements and that kind of thing. Of like, because glance over the little EKG thing is fine. Okay, keep working on my own research. Like this is kind of like his. He's not angry. He's just kind of frustrated by the fact that he has to do things that isn't his own work. Like this. I'm an archaeologist, not a doctor. Damn it, But he'll wait until Hal wakes up because
Okay.
When Hal becomes lucid.
Hal is again not like in dire straits. He's probably on a lot of pain meds. But
that's why I'm like,
this is more of like a nap. Like you can
exactly.
wake me up
I think you're.
Oh no! I wouldn't dream of saving that extra couple of hours for doing my own work.
I think that is your best intention. But unfortunately, when you went, that's gonna stir Hal out of it. So Hal's going to come to anyway as you start walking away from his personal computer to.
So snap the case shot of my own work. Put it back in my pocket again.
Oh, hey, Ro. Something come up on my computer?
Yes. While I'm using your software to monitor you, I did have this, and I just turned the screen around. Now, didn't open it or anything like that, but it does seem strange that it's going straight to you and not through the ship's comms now.
And Halcyon is still kind of, woke up from a nap, suddenly bleary-eyed, just rubs sleep from his eyes and just swings his legs off of the med bay chair thing and walks over and is like, I wasn't expecting this. Look that way for like until I tell you to look back, and I'm just gonna open it.
Okay. Ro, are you looking away? Are you doing what he said and looking away?
Oh, absolutely not. Ro is not the kind of person to look away from something interesting. But he's also really naive about it, so it's like, I don't he doesn't feel like it's something illicit or whatever. Just like,
as the case turns out, it is not. You read this message. It's been a long time since you've gotten a message of this kind, Halcyon, and it simply says, they brought a Kalsara into the operating room the other day, and I thought of you immediately. Hope you're keeping well, and the stars are treating you right. PZ.
And that is pretty much Hal's immediate reaction.
How you clap, and immediately your arm just starts throbbing.
Yeah, it's just like, ow, ow, ow.
All right, so Ro will get startled by the laugh, because that's like that's kind of a weird reaction, but okay. And then we'll gently steer. This is captain's orders, and basically the orders of every one of the other crew members, to steer you back to your bed and lie down. And, like very gently. Not exactly. My character is exactly the strongest person in the world, so very gently lay them down and just be like, okay, no more physical activity with that arm. Let it heal. And like kind of glance back. You want me to turn that off?
Oh,
I mean,
no.
I imagine it's personal, right?
Oh, it's actually from the guy who basically gave me my start in here. A medic by the name of Patient Zero, PZ for short.
Well, that sounds very nice. It's nice to have. So your mentor, basically. Well, that's wonderful. Yeah. Why did you route it through all this secrecy and encryptions and stuff like that? I mean, I assumed it was something, well, at least embarrassing.
I mean, it depends on your definition of embarrassing. Hal says, like, remembering how close Hugo and Ro are. It's like, I mean, it depends on your definition of embarrassing. I mean, as far as the secrecy stuff, like, it's just easier for PZ and I to communicate this way, because he's been going steady pretty much with the same ship for the past who knows how many cycles. He will never tell me. And I've just been bouncing from ship to ship to ship all the time, so it's just easier.
Hard to keep track of each other.
Exactly.
Okay, all right.
It's not like we talk much.
That's fair.
But,
let me close this for you so that nobody else walking in is going to see this.
You didn't read it, right?
Like, I don't know. Can I do the shifty eye
Yeah,
thing? Does it
absolutely.
really look strange?
You can do a weird fish shifty eye, yeah.
It's nothing bad.
Yep, we're gonna leave it at that.
Yeah. All right. I'm just gonna close this now. No one else needs to see it or whatever, and shut everything down, that kind of thing.
As long as nobody asks any questions, then I mean, yeah, whatever. All right.
So yeah, go. I'm gonna get back to work. Just so it doesn't come up, because I know that depending on the species and the society, this can be a problem. Is this in any way a mating thing, relationship thing, parental thing, or other kind of bonding?
No, it has to do with cutting open Kalsara.
Cutting open? Is that
like for surgery? Like for surgery.
You hear a sigh of relief as Hugo, who had just been rounding the corner, like, that is better contextually than the opposite. I just
Hi, Hugo.
came to check on. I'm gonna turns and walks right back around.
No, I mean I can offer more explanation.
Gone.
Oh, yeah, and he's gone. Okay.
All right. Let's ride this frustration Rose feeling into Rose scene. Ro, I believe you wanted to speak with the captain.
Yes, as a matter of fact. So now that my job is finally done, and whoever is taking over for me on Hal Watch,
it's Hugo. He's waiting 5 feet away. As soon as you leave, he does go in.
So, semi-oblivious, all yours.
Thanks.
And so, I walk up to the captain, who I'm assuming is at the front of the ship. This was at the helm, and I have like a pair of data slates in my hand, and I'm like cross-referencing like back and forth between them as I walk up. Captain, I wanted to ask, how soon are we going to be at a major starport?
Why do you want to know? I think at this point he's asking as soon as like my whole shit with
I mean,
with Halifax,
it would be a little
kind of like,
it would be like
I don't need
a little
this.
later, but it can still be fresh. Yeah.
I could ride that.
Yeah.
I could ride that
for
low.
sure.
So
It's okay. Just for sake of clarity,
I have...
both for our listeners and for our players, he got a 6 on his roll. So, or 3. It was 6 or lower.
Oh, I got a 3.
So this is a failed, meaning this is about to be some bad blood. Is the point of this. So
yeah, you can totally take out your frustrations on me, and we can also veil it if you'd rather not actually play that out, but rather
we're here for this.
Give me the brooding. Let's do this.
Okay.
Let's go.
So, well, I was very much hoping to get back in contact with the Galactic Society of Academics with all of this information. The fact that the Paenra myth is not just not a myth, it's also completely inaccurate as far as what the society was all about. This needs to be given out. Also, I don't know how long that orb thing will last outside of its system. So, I have here several suggestions of known Academy outposts at major sites. They're going to be bustling with people. There's plenty of places. Like, he's suggesting exactly the things that you guys don't want, I know. They're going to be bustling with people. There's going to be a lot of great opportunities. And most importantly, I might be able to finally get that research grant. And with that research grant money, we could have... Yes.
I don't have time for this. We're trying to find a path that... You know what? No, this is not...
But
this is beyond your expertise. What are you want to take a little downtime? Do you want us to have a little vacation?
Well, no, I thought that after a successful archaeological expedition, we would...
Successful?
Look at the data! Look at this! This is like 3 research papers!
Bro, somebody died. We all almost died.
Us. Well,
yes, and you know, it's valid that he tried to kill us twice, and he's not a great person, and maybe his death was justified. But after all of that, after Halcyon's arm, after Gammon getting shot at, after this whole shit with the listeners, and you're sitting here coming up to me saying you want to go have some rest and relaxation to hook up with your academic friends, we don't have time for this.
Well, I wouldn't call them friends. But may I ask what our relationship is? Am I a member of your crew?
You are a member of the crew, but this is the bridge.
So, if you consider me a member of the crew, then I listen to orders. Theoretically.
I would expect so.
I see. I thought I had more of a consultancy role. was not expecting. I think that we should perhaps review our contract. Would you have time right about now?
I absolutely do not have time to review a contract right now, Ro. If that is all, you can go back to your quarters and leave me to mine.
Oh my. I kind of like glance over to the pilot and like I really want to ask, so where are we going? But I'm like
Merrick is also there, and he's just sort of like watching this whole thing from a distance, sort of like getting ready to jump in and play peacemaker, but not doing it right now.
So Ro is of course kind of on the spineless side, so I mean he's going to at that point back off, but kind of slink away and do the kind of the injured puppy kind of look back, walk away some more, look back again, walk away some more. Yeah, and
Hal's gonna be like,
Go. And Merrick will give you a look, Captain, and kind of nod after him. It's like, may I?
Yes, because I don't have time for it.
I know. And he's gonna jog after you, Ro. He's gonna walk with you in the just kind of down the halls of the ship and go, hey, Captain's having a rough time of it right now.
Oh, I can tell, of course, but gosh, crew member, and here I've been treating you like, well, associates rather than colleagues. I haven't been pulling my weight, and you know I'm mostly talking to myself at that point. Like,
that's what you're beating yourself up about?
Oh yes, I go in there asking questions when hierarchy got to be preserved. I mean, this is a miniature society, and here I thought that I was a consultant and therefore had certain aspects. But if I'm signed on as a crew, well, then I'm going to have to decommission. I guess whenever we actually stop at a place where I can get proper travel, I'll have to resign. I didn't even know I was signing up in the first place, and here I am, prattling on about all this.
Bro.
Oh dear.
I think you're going to fit in here a little better than you think you are. And I think when the time comes, and it's not today, it's probably not tomorrow, it's probably not the next day either. But one of these days, I'm going to get you, and I'm going to get the captain, and the three of us are going to sit down for some drinks. And I think that'll probably be the best situation to reevaluate your contract, as you said. Is that okay with you?
There's this, like, I was going to be pedantic about the whole, I'd prefer to renegotiate a contract when, clear-headed, but I get what you mean. I understand. It's a bonding thing, yes?
Yes, but also our truest selves come out when we are bonding in that way. So, believe me, your needs will be requested much more liberally over some drinks.
All right, but I do have to reiterate how important it is that I need to get this to the Galactic Society.
Hey, I get it. There's a lot of important things out in the universe, and I know that this one's important to you. And I'm telling you, and you're going to have to take my word for this one, the stuff that's important to the captain right now is keeping us alive.
I understand.
Fortunately, you don't.
I let Merrick walk away, but then I think back to what Hal said about how he's able to send encrypted data that doesn't go through the usual communications.
Wonderful.
I head back to the med bay and say, hey, I'll take over. You
Are you sure? I'm doing quite all right.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's nice. It's quiet. I can do my work here.
Fair enough.
You go back and keep an eye on the lab.
Sure thing.
So
it's only quiet in here because I'm on painkillers.
Yes, absolutely. So I sit down next to him, and without looking at him and being really awkward about it, because again, not good with subterfuge. So that whole bypassing the communication encrypted thing, how does that work exactly? Just curious. And I'd end the scene there.
I was going to say that's a perfect place to end that scene. I love that. Now, L, your communication, you said wanted to be with the captain. Is that correct?
You're muted.
This door suddenly opened. Sorry.
John.
It's fine. Yeah. I really don't.
Now, I know
Yeah.
I sort of combined those a little bit because...
There wasn't really a lot of information given on my end. Is the
Right.
thing.
But I also know that you guys wanted to do some catching up and talking, so we can say after that sort of settles. We'll say it's like maybe a day before you put into port in this new place. If you guys want to sort of reconvene and sort of work through that. I don't have a prompt for this scene specifically. That was a scene I had in mind. But I know there was some stuff that, Erin, you wanted to talk with them about and vice versa. So if you guys want to like have some like chat, if you guys want to... I mean, there's not really a lot of drinks on the ship right now, but if you guys want to just like have some... meet in the mess hall, so to speak, and chat
We
about.
don't drink and drive on this ship, okay?
Also, I used it all for fuel.
What? Also, you what?
I used it all for fuel.
Oh yes,
one
you did
time.
use the alcohol for
That's
fuel.
true. That's right.
So you do not have any alcohol on the ship right now.
Yeah.
But you do have food, and you are consuming that. I assume that again, just like you were low on fuel, you were low on food, but you gathered enough like fruits and stuff from the planet that you can get by. So if you guys are having a little meal and having a chat, I think there's probably other people in the room. Merrick's probably minding the helm right now because when the pilot's away, someone's gotta. But there's probably some people around if you would like to drag anyone else in. But for the most part, we're going to say it's the two of you at a private enough table that you can sort of catch up and do whatever talking you need to do.
What did Malleus eat?
They don't.
Nothing. They don't eat.
Malleus eat heat and light. Ships with
Okay.
Malleus on them are generally a few degrees colder than other ships because they are consistently draining the energy of the ship.
Right.
No big deal.
Cool.
Yeah, you know.
Talon is,
We're
Talon
cool
is
like
on
that.
the table staring at a half-empty glass of water.
Free do the dip the paw in and like lick the paw.
Slowly push edge the cup closer and closer. I
First he
think
puts his head in and it doesn't reach the water. And
I just imagine you gravitying the water up to you. Just... All right, this is the scene now. Go ahead, guys.
okay.
All right,
Okay.
cool. I have a great place to start.
Mm.
So it's gonna be like a silent moment of just like we're just like I would think that we have like a nice like comfortable silence got going on, just like vibing. Then after a while, the Neuromask is gonna like on, and he's going to say,
Permission to speak, Captain?
Yeah.
Really?
Every time. You never have to ask.
Why do you want me talking to your crewmates? I don't see the point.
Wait, say that again.
Yeah, it got all muddled.
Why do you want me talking to the other crewmates? I don't understand why.
I
The
still don't
voice
understand.
mods.
Yeah, I'm
we
afraid
might-
your voice
we
mod
might
is
need
too
to-
you know
strong.
what? Fuck it.
Will
Fuck it.
L
You know,
The voice
it's
L. We'll do a little hash out. We'll troubleshoot for next time.
yeah, whatever. I don't. Why do you want me talking to the other crewmates? I don't understand why.
I actually don't understand. Phera doesn't understand why either. What do you mean? Give me an example.
You dragged me to everyone when you checked in on them to make sure they were fine, even
Like
though they
2
were
days ago?
clearly, yes, even though they were clearly fine.
Of course they were clearly fine, but that's what you do when you are the captain. You still check on them.
But I am not the captain,
No.
and
But-
you still commanded me to go.
I'm certainly not taking Merrick.
That I'm not.
Halifax, what do you think your role besides pilot is? on this ship?
Pilot, what do you know?
Why do you think I sent you out to go talk to Bryer?
Because no one else wanted to do it.
No, because believe it or not, even when you do your thing where you take off your mask, turn off your mask, you're still the most diplomatic and level-headed crew member on the ship.
I don't know if I believe that, Captain.
There's a certain level of expertise that every crew member carries, and everybody here is smart. Everybody here is sharp, clever, brave, but you've got the stuff, the things that I felt when I took this position, that sort of that lust for adventure, for going as far as you can, taking your ship to the limit, knowing your ship as if it were your own child. That's why I got so mad at you when you wouldn't just fucking pick a different route. It was like pulling teeth, because it's not for you, Dewitt. You can navigate this through complete void, pitch blackness, and I would trust you with my life.
You shouldn't.
But
you
I
really
do.
Shouldn't.
I do. And I trust Merrick with my life, and I trust you with my life.
You gave me permission to speak honestly. And I will say, probably one of the only times that I have ever been in the position where I almost died was landing a ship. Trying to land this ship. Terrifying. I didn't want to have to do that again. And the last time I was alone, and this time there were people. I don't want that responsibility, and I don't think I ever could handle it. And he's gonna shut off his mask. He's gonna get up and he's gonna go.
All right.
I'm gonna reach over and I'm going to take the cup from Talon before he knocks it off the table.
How did you know? I was literally saying that.
Terrific. All right. So that's been our little cramped quarters experiment. There's just a few more things I would like to get done tonight. The first is this. I know I'm sort of jumping around in time a little bit because I said this one was pretty close to landing, but something does happen before that we need to address. I would say every other scene that we've gone through has happened except for that one, which can happen retroactively. We are navigating the way through space. We're about halfway to your destination at this point. When there is a bump. Nothing showed up on the radar, but there's a sudden boom. Something hits the side of the ship. No damage. The alarm kind of starts because there's a sudden proximity alert. But that's it.
When did this happen? Like in
fiction, this is like 2 days after you took off.
Like when? During that conversation in relation?
A day before.
Okay. All right.
It's not. You know what? No, actually, I don't like retconning that. Let's just say this is the next day, and you weren't as close as I said you were. I would rather everything have happened just in case. So
okay.
Let's go ahead and actually do a music change. Which I know doesn't mean anything to you guys, but so yeah, something has hit the side of the ship.
Halifax, what do you see on your comms? Or on your on your monitors?
It was a blip and then nothing.
Can you actually Halifax, can you make an assessment for me, please?
Sure.
using expertise. You're looking at your usual stuff. 11. The you did see the blip, and you saw which kind of side it appeared on, and you got enough that you can sort of do a quick turn to like get a view of this thing, because you know based on how it hit the ship that whatever it is not still there. It's not like riding your ship or anything like that. So you do a very quick maneuver, and you get a long glance. The ship sort of continues moving sideways. You guys see the Paenra flying alongside of you.
Oh.
The light from the ship kind of casts on it, and it's very difficult to see in space, but you can see the 3 red eyes, you can see the shape of it. It's not as big as your ship, but it's still pretty sizable, and it's just sort of drifting along space beside you.
You said you had a piece of it? You said? The piece of the Phera? Is that right?
Yeah.
We also still have the beacon.
We have beacon, and we have the piece of him.
Okay.
Where's the beacon?
In a crate somewhere?
You're muted, Sean.
Yeah, sorry. In a crate in the lab. It's been completely packed up and airtight.
Okay. I'm gonna do one of these.
As if this thing could not get any more unsettling than the way it moves. Rather than it turning like it used to while it was planet side, it shifts sort of its its eyes sort of shift around the side of it, almost as if the head is just shifting entirely onto the side of the body. To do basically what the ship is doing, just without turning the rest of its torso. And it kind of looks back at you, and you see the eyes go. And then it turns back forward and continues.
So is this thing following us, or is this just a goodbye?
I don't
Pretty
know.
far for a goodbye, Merrick says.
Yeah, because if this thing is going to follow us to wherever we're going, is that a good thing?
Are we still going to be in the Opal district, I think is
You are still in the Opal sector, yes.
Opal sector.
Yeah.
That might be bad news if we end up bringing an entire Phera to a planet in the Opal sector?
Yes, right, because there's a bunch of pre-established mythology about that. Oh dear.
So...
But with that said, there's not much to do about it. You can't get a message out to it unless anyone thinks of a way to do that. You can't get sound through space, and you don't believe it can read, to your knowledge. So there's not really much action to be taken. Does anyone have anything they would like to interject, or?
I want to ask a question to the GM.
Please do.
How does the little bit of Paenra flesh react with the host?
It has not reacted. Are you bringing it over to the deck?
I feel like Hal is still just kind of he's at the end of recovery, but still just I'm just gonna hang out in the med bay and just relax until, because there's nothing much I can do right now.
So yeah, it does not react in any sort of way. Actually, it does not show any sign of moving towards it. It doesn't show any sign of changing that. It seems to have not adjusted its MO. It sticks close to you, but otherwise does nothing.
Hal is not coming to the bridge then?
No.
Okay.
In that case, Talon would like to go to the med bay and inform Hal that the Paenra is following us, and ask where his little piece of it is.
It's right here. It's hanging out.
Can you come to the bridge for just a second? I want to try something.
Sure. Yeah, sure. And Hal just gets up out of the bed and starts making an easy way back to the bridge.
You make your
Or to the
you
bridge.
make your way up. You get to the bridge, no problem. You
And we can still see
Yep,
Paenra.
it hasn't shifted course.
And the pieces on your shoulder, Hal.
Yeah, just hanging out.
I will jump up to your other shoulder.
Okay.
Oh God.
Can you hear us?
It does not respond.
Okay, there goes that idea.
It's space. Sound doesn't travel through space.
I was hoping it could hear us through the.
Oh, clever, but no. All right.
Goodness.
Is it-
Oh wait, I have a question for the
Go
GM
ahead.
for that. What sector is the planet we're going to?
Still
in?
opal. Leaving a sector is immense. It's a huge amount of travel. And it's usually a wild jump to get there, or like getting to one of the central starport locations, because they're immensely many galaxies away.
Okay, and the second question is, did we decide that the Paenra and its elephant shape is too big to fit in a spaceship? Not necessarily for travel, but for hiding purposes.
If you had an empty cargo hold, you could probably get him in there.
Great. We might just do that.
We're about to.
Well, so actually you don't. As you guys approach your planet, Talania, even from this distance, you know how when you can sort of see what makes up a planet from like the color it looks like from space, you know, you can see how much water is on Earth when you look at Earth. Talania is like bright neon. It is a planet that has recently been introduced to the beauty of space travel and all the technology that comes with it, and it is thriving under that. It is going to be the perfect hiding spot because there's too many people to find any one specific person, and there's not enough advanced space tech to like really like hound people down. So it's your perfect resting spot. And as you guys approach Talania, the Paenra peels off, goes his own separate way. He came,
That works out.
followed for a bit, and then ditched.
Okay.
And as you guys approach this new planet, the planet of Talania, I think it's probably as good as a place we're gonna have to stop as any. So I think we will come back next week and see what the planet of Talania has to offer. Cool.
2 weeks.
2
but
weeks. Yes, sorry, 2 weeks. Great. Well, good session, everyone. My lovely viewers, thank you for sticking out through the technical difficulties. We really appreciate you.
Yes.
Oh.
Seriously.
That was frustrating.
It means
Thank you
so
so
much. I'm really
much.
glad we managed to make it work in the end. Hopefully that will be the last time it happens. I'll see if we can do some more testing for the next time. You guys are great. Tell your friends. Don't forget.
Spoilers, it won't be the last
It
time.
will not be the last time.
Should we do advancement triggers?
What was that?
Should we do advancement triggers?
Oh yeah, let's do advancement triggers. Yeah, let's go ahead.
Cool. Question about that
I just
again.
realized, we needed
Yeah,
to pick
did
new
you guys
advancement
pick
triggers.
new
I
advancement
forgot
triggers?
to pick mine.
All right,
I
let's
apologize.
let's do it.
I did.
Let's do it at the beginning.
That's
Oh,
fine.
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
two of us didn't. Let's
Yeah.
do it at the beginning of next session then. So
Okay.
we'll hold off on that. We'll double check that. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Please tell your friends. If you guys want to give us a follow, we'd appreciate it. If you want to give us a sub, we'd appreciate it even more. But word of mouth is the best thing you can do. We would love to get more people in here and having fun with us. This episode will be live on YouTube next Sunday, and then we will be back 2 Sundays from now. You guys rock. I'm excited.
Wait,
What's up?
shameless plug.
Please.
I'm gonna stream in a little bit if anybody wants to come hang out.
Please check out Erin My Laundry. It's just it's twitch.tv/Erin My Laundry. It's a hilarious title. It's genuinely a delightful stream. I hang out there all the time just to like
Seriously.
chill for the
Same.
night. It's a really good time. So please check them out. Evandale, thanks for being here. I just saw you in the chat. Thank you. So yeah, please check out Erin. And while we're at it, check out Evandale. Evandale, who's over in our chat right now, has another consistent campaign tabletop stream that's more fantasy bent. I tuned in for a little bit last time. They are super cool to watch. Lots of fun. I actually got my idea for my interactive channel points from Steve. So thank you, Steve, from Evandale. I appreciate you being here as well. Yeah, that's all I've got. Anyone else have anything they want to plug? Uncharted Worlds.
Yeah, Uncharted
Guys,
I'm joking.
I'm not joking. I'm not joking. Sean,
No, you
I haven't
didn't.
paid you a compliment this whole time. I've earned this. Guys, if you are enjoying this, go buy Uncharted Worlds. It's the most bite-sized, like easily comprehensible tabletop rulebook that I've had in a long time. As you can tell, we're all having a lot of fun with the system. And if you have any questions, I happen to know a guy who made the game, so. Get yourself a copy of the rulebook. Get yourself a copy of the rulebook. Play yourself your own session. Tell us all about it. It's a lot of fun. So plug that.
He's the guy.
Yeah.
And yeah, otherwise, I will see you guys in 2 weeks. You guys rock. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, crew of the Freya. Thank you, everyone.
Have a great
Bye.
time. Thank you, everybody.
Everybody.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.